Good morning, Year 4. You will find it funny that this is the 5th time I have tried to record a video for you. Now, the reason is the delivery man keeps knocking and ringing on my doorbell and keeps interrupting my video. And then an ambulance went past and made lots of noise. I'm going to start now properly. Fingers crossed it will work. So today's learning is going to be applying the show not tell techniques that we practiced yesterday with all those different photos of different children that I put on the blog. But today we're going to be applying it to pictures from Catch-A-Lot, the animation that we watched at the beginning of the week. Okay, now I'm going to swap to my visualizer and we're going to have a look at some of the pictures and see if we can work out what emotions and feelings are going on in those pictures and see if we can write some really good sentences. I'm going to right click, switch my camera. Now, oh, the visualizer, look, it moved when I went to open the door a minute ago. So here we have, let's just make sure that this is all straight and ready so that we can do our learning. I'm going to, oh, it's very difficult to orientate it. Okay, so we've got a sheet that looks a bit like this, and I'm going to choose, we've got some different pictures that go through the story, through the animation. And we're going to pick a couple of them, and we're going to see if we can not use the emotion words or the feeling words, okay? So I'm going to look at the first one. I'm going to do the first one here with the man. And now this skinny, lanky man, he at the very beginning of the story, he really doesn't want to be involved with it. He's bored, he's frustrated, he doesn't want to be there. Now, I've written, the young lad was bored. I'll put a red cross through bored because I don't want to tell people what he's feeling. I want to show what he's feeling. Now, I was really lucky to have a conversation with Corey on the phone this morning, and I said to him, so if you're bored and you were going to show me how you were bored, what would you do? And he was very, very clever. He said that he would put his head in his hands. I think what a really good idea. If I put my head in my hands, I would be really showing that I was bored. So I've got that idea in my head. I might use that for this one because look, he's got his head in his hands there. Look, when he's feeling ashamed. But I'm gonna use some of Corey's the idea of sort of his head kind of dropping for this one. So thank you for your help this morning, Corey. So I'm going to start with, I quite like the idea of starting with the young lad, but you might want to find another way of saying it. I might have a nice capital letter, the skinny, I might just add a bit of description. The skinny lads. I'm going to put a little arrow here because I'm going to come back to something that I might have missed out. The skinny lad's head drooped. I'm quite liking the word drooped, not dropped, drooped to the ground. Now, when you're bored as well, you kind of, well, I do, my shoulders kind of drop a little bit and my body kind of crunches over and it just doesn't look very vibrant and happy. So I'm going to see if I can add something like that. The skinny lad's head drooped to the ground. I'm going to use a fanboys and ground and his, when you slouch over, what happens to your spine? I think your spine might kind of bend over and his spine bent over. Oh, that looks like a U over. Full stop. I'm going to read it back because I might be able to improve it because even the best writers don't get things right first time. They have to read them back and edit them. The skinny lads, come to that arrow. Now the lad's head, the head belongs to the lad. Does anybody know what I have forgotten there? It's something we've been really trying to do in year 4. I can hear some of you. I think it's a apostrophe there, a possessive apostrophe. And actually I shouldn't really have joined that S, but I have done. mind. The skinny lad's head drooped to the ground and his spine bent over. There he is, he's bored. And I've used there the head drooping, Corey's idea, to help me with that writing. Now, you might come up with some other ideas for what you might be, how you might show that you are bored. Now, I'm going to leave ashamed, okay, just for a minute, but I'm sure that you will come up with lots of things for shame, because I think that I spoke this morning to Archie. And Archie had some really good ideas on the phone this morning. I'm just going to move this up for when, make sure that this is in the right spot, for when you were terrified and what you would do. And here we have the picture. I find it difficult to orientate this in the right spot. Okay, here we have the picture of the skinny young man and the big, enormous man in the storm with massive waves crashing over. And look, even the seagulls feeling a little bit terrified. But we're not going to use the word terrified, because that tells us what the emotion is. And we want to be far more clever than that. So I'm going to use Archie's idea. He used these ideas. He had the word quiver and he had pounding heart. So I'm not going to see if I can put those into a sentence. Now, before I use the skinny lad, but I might have, there's two of them. Now, there's one man, but two men. So I might have, and I've used the word men there, so I might have the two men, capital letter, and I must not join my capital letter, the two. Now, how do I spell two? I tell you what, when we write, we don't put two as in the number. We actually have to write it as the word. The two men, I'm going to have quivered. And I'm going to use the word trembled, because I think that's quite a nice word. I'm going to add that one in. The two men quivered and trembled. Might have a new sentence, it doesn't have to be one. There, now, oh, this is on the blog this week. Okay, there, which there is it? There's two of them. It's not they are, it's this one. Their hearts pounded. And I'm thinking, what things might pound? Oh, I could try a simile, because that would make my writing really cool. Their hearts pounded like, what things pound? Pound. A ticking clock kind of makes that kind of rhythm. I'm thinking their hearts pounded like, I'm going to have a beating drum. Does that fit on there? I'm coming off the edge a bit. Okay, I'm going to read it back. Something that we need to do in class all of the time to make sure our writing makes sense. Let's make sure the visualizer is all focused here for you. Let me read it back. The two men quivered and trembled. Their hearts pounded like a beating drum. I think that suggests that they're terrified. And I've not used terrified, I've not used scared, I've not used frightened. I've shown it, not told it. And what I'm quite liking about my writing is I've used Archie's ideas, but I've also put a little simile in there as well. And I'm quite liking the fact that I've spelt there correctly, which is something that we do make mistakes with. So do make sure that you do the spelling on the blog, because on, I think it's Thursday's blog, it is on Thursday's blog, so that you can get that spelling right. I'm going to choose another one, because there was somebody else I spoke to on the phone this morning before making my video. And well, I'm wondering actually whether it was when I spoke to Eva, she had a really good idea. Now, I didn't write down, I think you could do it for either when you're angry or you're terrified, but she had this idea of grinding your teeth. So now let's think, when you grind your teeth, I wonder which emotion it might be. I don't think you would do it if you were triumphant or amazed. You might do it if you were terrified. I think you might do it if you were angry. Yes, I think I'm going to do it for this one here. I'm going to see if I can adapt Eva's amazing idea for angry. So I'm going to think to myself, I'm not allowed to write angry because, or cross, or any of the emotions and feelings, because we're trying to show, not tell. So I'm thinking if I'm angry, yes, we might grind. I might just write the ideas down here. You could jot ideas around the outside. You could grind your teeth. Always a good idea to make notes. Your eyes might pop out, mightn't they? I always seem to put eyes popping out. Eyes might pop out. I know what you might do. When I get angry, I get kind of sweaty. And I might get red in the face. Ooh. I've just jotted some ideas around there. You might like to do that, to think of some ideas. You could maybe come up with some ideas with a grown-up that's at home with you. Now, the massive man was angry with the lad. I'm not going to use angry. So I might do a bit of alliteration here. The massive, underline here, muscly man. Look, massive, muscly man. I've done alliteration, but what have I forgotten? Oh, Mrs. Nicholls, what have I forgotten? The massive, muscly man. I've forgotten to put a comma. The massive, muscly man. I think muscly man don't think we need a comma to separate those. The massive, muscly man. No, man, I'm going to put an S there, but I'm going to put a line to it. Remember, we can't always do things right first time. It takes time to compose sentences and make them good. The massive, muscly man ground his teeth. His teeth. And his face was red and sweaty. Can you imagine the sweat dripping down his face because he was so angry? So let's see whether I've managed to be able to use Eva's idea about the grinding of your teeth. I need to read it back like we do in school because sometimes our sentences don't make sense, and it's okay not to get it right first time. And actually, even second or third time, sometimes it takes a long time to edit your sentences. The massive, muscly man ground his teeth and his face was red and sweaty. I quite like that one. Remember, I could always add something else. I don't have to just do one sentence. I could do a couple of sentences to describe how angry he was. Now, I've done a few of them. Okay, if I move my visualizer so that you can see the whole sheet. Okay, what I'd like you to do is come up with some of your own ideas for the pictures here. Now, if you haven't got a printer, it is still okay. You don't necessarily need to have the pictures to write next door to. I've put them on here just if you think that might help you. Okay, so you are using your show not tell ideas today for the pictures in Capture-Lot. Now I'm going to put my screen back to me. Hang on. Here we go. Switch camera. And then hopefully it comes back to me. Oh, it does. Okay, and then I have a bit of a shock. And what's really good is the delivery man didn't ring the doorbell during that. I'm so relieved. I don't know whether that happens in your house these days. So I want you to do this writing, these sentences. Remember, I'm looking for some really good work to be sent to me to send to Miss Scott. I haven't sent anything yet, but I do need to do that today or tomorrow to make sure that she has got something to celebrate with somebody. I wonder who it's going to be. I've got a few ideas. Trouble is, I want to send lots of work. I can't to give her too many phone calls to make, can I? Okay, so be amazing. beautiful handwriting. Show me those amazing ideas, but don't mention the emotions. We're not doing that. Okay. All right. I hope it goes well, and I will see you soon.